and and I would be taking the Toastmasters promise. So those of you in the room, you can recite because you're together. Those of us who are online, please stay muted so we don't sound like very interesting penguins in Africa. Thank you. And now I would take the Toastmasters promise. As a member of Toastmasters International in my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful and constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs. And finally, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, excellence during the conduct of all our Toastmasters activity. So help us God. And with that said, I would like to take the club mission. Our mission as Pectenites is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self confidence and personal growth. Thank you so very much once again. And I would just like to do some housekeeping. So please, if you're joining us virtually, I would appeal to you to keep your microphones muted as you come in. And if you were going to speak, maybe use the raise hand icon. The chat box is for engagement. Please, this is a Pecten Toastmasters meeting. We like that part of the meeting to be on fire. So if there's anything exciting that you like, a comment you want to make, please leave it all in the chat box. But remember to keep it very respectful. We generally do not promote you talking about sensitive topics around religion, politics, and sex. Just remember that you have a very diverse audience, and we really want this place to be comfortable for everyone. So that's something to note. Finally, if anybody makes it to the lectern, whether it's the physical or the virtual lectern, please show them some appreciation by giving them a warm round of applause. If you're in the room, we want to hear you clap. And if you are in the audience, virtual audience, please use your emoticons and your emojis and your reactions to just show them some love. We want to see that when they come and when they step off the lectern. It will be beautiful to see. Finally, as people give speeches, please remember to leave them your love notes in the chat section. For those of you in the room, there are long slips where you have, the speakers and role players listed. We would love and appreciate it if you can give them some feedback, one that makes them feel good and one that tells them that there's still room for improvement. We would appreciate all of that. Now, with all of that said, it's always a delight to invite this really pretty lady who always tells us about the theme of our meeting, and technically, she's the face of the club. Please make welcome to the virtual lectern, the president of Pecten Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ekwuchi Joy James, for her opening remarks. Round of applause, please.
Yay! Oh, so warm. Thank you, Olem. Thank you. I feel really excited. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Guests, Toastmasters, every single person that has made out time to join us today. Confirm that you can hear me clearly and you can see me. Perfect.
Yes, we can hear you.
Whew. I need to constantly, intentionally contain my excitement in every meeting. It almost burst out of me like a boiling pot of water on the stove. I'm always so excited about these meetings, and that's because for me, Pecten Toastmasters meeting is not just about public speaking and leadership. Yes, those are the core values and those are the core things we aim to eventually achieve. But for me, it's about community, it's about friendship, it's about coming together to just have a place where we can talk and feel safe. This is the second meeting in the month of March, and we're still on the theme perceptivity. I particularly love this theme. And there's a sub theme. If you read the flyer, how many of you read the flyer? And all the write ups. Just me put a lot into writing all these things. In fact, let me test this. Who knows what the sub, without looking at your phone or the screen. Is it on the screen already? Adam, hang on. Give me a, oh dear Lord, too late. Too late. I'm going to text how many of us knew what the sub theme is. What Adam just gave all of you the expo. Water equity. We hear about equality and equity in the context of gender. It's very interesting to know that as it regards water, there's such a thing as water equity. This is the concepts where we are trying to ensure that everyone has access and has the blessing of having reaching out or reaching clean, safe water and wastewater services. It's not so hard. I know you're there. Sometimes you're brushing your teeth and like, someone is calling me. You leave the tap running, you go and get your call, or you're drinking water and then the whole bowl of water splashes on the floor. To you, water is like someone, you go to a party and someone doesn't give you, they're like, on top water. Are you guys joking? Water. Trust me, water in some parts of the world is gold. It will surprise you to know that some people like you and I do not have access to clean water and wastewater services. How can we help in our little way? We're going to know, we're going to be educated in this meeting. Like I said, Pecten meetings are not just about leadership and public speaking. There's always a lot to learn. So today, it could also be water Ekwuchi, right? Right. So we're going to learn a lot today. We're going to learn a lot today about water equity and how we can throw in our own weights, right? Contribute your own quota to making sure that this is done. However you can help, helping with access, participation, and just helping in your little way that everyone is a part of this. There's some statistics on the screen. Feel free to read. I want us to leave here with a resolve. Who's with me? Who's going to leave here with a resolve to make sure that water equity is a thing? Right. You might feel like, I'm not WHO, I'm not UNICEF. What can I do? There's something you can do in your little space. And I'm sure that we're going to leave here making a resolve to do what we can, as little as we can. It starts with you. Change always starts with you. That being said, I'm not going to do too much, just going to get out of your faces. But before I do that, I will introduce you to someone very special to us today. She is already smiling, looking like a captain that sails us through the affairs of the meeting, the seas, the waters of the meeting. Today, our Toastmaster of the day is none other than Toastmaster Ihuoma Achara. Let's have a profile on the screen, please. Before I go on, I'd just like to say something. She called me a couple of minutes ago. I'm not going to say what she said to me, but I'll just tell you that she is a very dedicated person. This is the first time I've gotten a call like that for any meeting at all. So just to let you know what to expect, she doesn't play around here. She's serious about her business, and I'm excited to have her join us today. Can I have a profile on the screen? Is there a lag? Is it showing and I'm not seeing it?
Yeah, it's probably a lag. Do you see it now?
No, not yet. Other people on the virtual audience, okay, now we can. Yes, she's an entrepreneur who is a member of Surulere Toastmasters Club. She is on the leadership development path. Her favorite quote is, "It's not over until it's over." And that's a quote by Yogi Berra. Ladies and gentlemen, Pecten Toastmasters, please don't fall for my hand. You know how we do here. With a rousing round of applause, let us welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ihuoma Achara. Over to you. Great, that's how we do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for that terrific introduction. Benjamin Franklin once said, "When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. But do we really need to wait for that moment to act?" Hello, Toastmasters and guests, good day. Do we have any first-time guests we're here with us in this meeting? I can't see the full view of the virtual audience and the in-person audience, but this is for them. Welcome to Toastmasters, where we learn by taking action. Just like water, clear communication is vital. In Toastmasters, we sharpen our perceptivity, not just in speaking, but in listening, understanding, and in leading with awareness. The more perceptive we are, the greater impact we can make, whether in conversations, communities, or causes like water equity. So today, let's open our minds, sharpen our awareness, and speak with purpose. Because just as water sustains life, perceptivity fuels growth. As the Toastmaster of the day, my role is to lead this meeting smoothly, ensuring an engaging and well-structured experience for everyone. I will introduce our speakers and evaluators, invite the timer for reports, facilitate voting. I will also hand over to our general evaluator for valuable feedback of our strengths and areas for improvement. I'll also invite the special speaker that will handle the interactive session. And in the end, I will welcome the president for closing remarks. Now that I'm done with my responsibilities, I'll be introducing the general evaluator. And he is the perceptive observer of today's meeting. This crucial role is instrumental in celebrating our successes while uncovering opportunities for improvement, ensuring that we continue to excel as a club. Please join me in welcoming our general evaluator, CM George Nnamdi Ebeh, who will lead the evaluation section and provide an overview of today's meeting. CM George, could you share a bit? I don't know if it's already answered.
Hello.
CM George, can you?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon,
Great.
Toastmaster of the day, Pecten Toastmasters. I am delighted to be here today, serving as the general evaluator for this very wonderful meeting. Just as the Toastmaster of the day has said, my role as general evaluator is to evaluate everything that happens during the course of today's meeting. I will be listening and looking out for all the wonderful things you're doing and hopefully pointing them out to ensure that you can double down and do them even better. I'll also be looking out for things that can be improved upon and hopefully help Pecten Toastmasters achieve the excellence that it seeks. This role is one that can be daunting, and so I will be doing this with a number of Toastmasters that will be playing very specific roles during the course of this meeting. So I will call them out one after the other, and they will tell us specifically what they'll be doing for us in today's meeting. The first role player that I'll be calling out is the grammarian. And our grammarian for today is Toastmaster Mina Allison. Toastmaster Mina, the lecture is yours. Please tell us a bit about what you'll be doing for us in today's meeting. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Great. So my role basically is just to, as a grammarian, is to carefully observe language usage throughout the meeting. So I'll take note of misuse of language as well as exceptional words, codes, and expressions that enhance our communication. So I have the privilege today of introducing the word of the day. So for today's meeting, the word of the day is percipient. I repeat, percipient, which means having keen insight or perception. So I'm going to give some examples on how to use the word percipient. Example, Tim Lucy is a percipient interpreter of people's emotions. I'll give another example. My friend was far more informed, articulate, and percipient than I was. So there are synonyms like astute, discerning, and sharp. I encourage us all to incorporate the word of the day into our speeches and our discussions, and I look forward to an engaging and enriching session. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mina, for that very detailed explanation of your role. The next role player that I'll be calling out is the R counter, who will also serve as the listening evaluator. And the R counter for today's meeting is Toastmaster Shakira. Toastmaster Shakira, the lectern is yours. Please tell us what your role will be in today's meeting.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Good evening, Toastmasters and amiable guests. Today, I will be serving as the art counter and listening evaluator. My role is very simple. My role is to note sounds and words used as crutch and filler sounds, filler sounds, by anyone who speaks. During this meeting, I will take note of overused words, including but, so, and you know, and filler sounds such as and ha. I also take note of repetitive words and phrases such as hi, I mean. Later in the meeting, I'll be called upon to give account of the number of times each speaker used this expression. So the second part of my task, I'll be asking who said what. Now, this is to ascertain how well we've paid attention during the meeting. Thank you very much, and it's back to you, General Evaluator.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shakira, for that very clear and succinct explanation of your role. And last, but definitely not the least, is the timer for today's meeting. And the role of timer is being played by Toastmaster Chigozirim. Toastmaster Chigozirim, the lectern is yours. Please tell us how you will go about your role today.
Okay. Sorry for the delay. Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the table topics, speakers, prepare speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. We have 3 prepared speeches slated for 5 to 7 minutes in today's meeting. At 5 minutes, I will change my background to green. At 6 minutes, I will change my background to yellow. At 7 minutes, I will change my background to red. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will change my background to green. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will change my background to yellow. At 2 minutes, I will change my background to red. The individual evaluations are between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will change my background to green. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I will change my background to yellow. At 3 minutes, I will change my background to green. All speakers have a grace period of 30 seconds beyond the allotted time to wrap up. I'll be back to give the timer's report when called upon to do so. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, our timer Toastmaster Chigozirim. My dear Pecten Toastmasters, there you have it. As Toastmasters, perceptivity is one of the abilities or qualities that we aim to improve upon. And as I'm sure you can tell, this percipient Toastmasters today will be doing our best to give you all the things that we've noticed that hopefully can make Pecten Toastmasters even better than it already is. I'll be back during the evaluation segment of the meeting to share our thoughts. Over to you now, Toastmaster of the day, for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Tian George, for the warm introduction to evaluation team. Their clarity and readiness to support our speakers truly show that through constructive feedback that they are ready to support us in a productive way. We are in great hands. Thank you. And now we move over to the prepared speeches segment. A moment for our speakers to bring forth their stories, their insights, their perspectiveness. Let's get ready to learn and be inspired. Our first prepared speech evaluator for this evening is Tiem Oluwatosin Olorunleke, a procurement engineer by profession. He'll be serving as the evaluator for Tiem Samuel Olonade's speech, a committed member of Oil City Speakers Club. Tiem Oluwatosin is currently advancing through the strategic relationships path within the Toastmasters educational program. In his leisure time, he enjoys playing football. His favorite quote is, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right," and it's won by Henry Ford. With a round of applause, let's welcome Tiem Oluwatosin to the lectern.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, Pecten Toastmasters, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's a pleasure to be attending today's meeting and evaluating a speech today. This evening, we have the privilege of listening to Toastmaster Samuel present a speech from the Presentation Mastery Path, Project 1, Level 2. And the purpose of this speech is basically learning to develop a speech with a purpose, learning to write a speech and deliver a speech with a purpose. I'm sure we've all been in a situation where we heard someone speak, and at the end of the person speaking, we're left wondering, what exactly were they talking about? This evening, Toastmaster Samuel is here to show us exactly how to make sure we are not such a speaker. I have the utmost faith in Toastmaster Samuel to deliver because I have not heard him speak before, but he has definitely delivered his icebreaker and had the courage to proceed to his next speech. That definitely is a sign of excellence. Toastmaster Samuel, all the best, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Please, a round of applause.
Our first speaker is Toastmaster Samuel, and he will take us on a fascinating journey through his speech titled Panic Mode Activated. He's progressing through the Toastmasters Presentation Mastery Path that has been announced, and he's an active member of the Pecten Toastmasters Club, where he hones his communication and leadership skills. Toastmaster Samuel has something exciting to share with us. Please join me in welcoming him to the lectern. Toastmaster Samuel, the floor is yours. All the best.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'd like to ask everyone a question. Has anyone ever postponed something important, something very critical, until the very last minute? If you are, can you wave your hand? Practically, everyone is raising their hands. Well, something I can relate to with all these stages involved starts with a feeling of self-confidence and overabundance of time, where you feel like, yes, I can do it. There's still enough time. And then there comes the next stage, the stage of apprehension. When the deadline draws closer and you discover you've done nothing and you've not even started with the task. And the third stage is the stage of panic, where you activate panic mode. And all of a sudden you have some superpowers you never had before. And you try to, or if you're lucky, eventually complete the task. Or if you fall in that category, I'm happy to announce to you that I had weeks to prepare for this speech and I started preparing yesterday. So it's something I can always relate to. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I would like to start with a quote by Mark Levi, which very beautifully captures the essence of time. And it says, if you want to know the value of a year, ask a student that failed an exam. If you want to know the value of a month, ask a mother who had a premature baby. If you want to know the value of a minute, ask someone who missed their train of flight by just 1 minute. If you want to know the value of a second, ask someone who narrowly escaped an accident. And if you want to know the value of the hundredths of a second, ask an Olympic medalist that missed on a gold medal. And that reminds me of one historic moment in the Paris 2024 Olympics. In the 100-meter race for the men, Noah Lyles and Kishen Thompson had a record of 9.79 seconds in the 100-meter race. And Kishen Thompson missed out on the gold medal by just 5,000 of a second. That's 0.005 seconds. Imagine missing out on a gold medal by such a thin margin. If that doesn't make you understand what the essence of time is, I don't know what to do. And one thing that Olympic moment made me realize is that time is a paradox. Time is precious. And if you spend every single moment of it doing things you love and with people we cherish. And also, time is limitless, but at the same time, it's limited. Time is finite, and at the same time, it's infinite. Because before any of us were, time was existed already and it's counting. And after we all live, time is to continue counting. But the truth is that none of us has countless time, none of us has boundless time. And that made me realize that in this world, we have countless things to do. We have goals we want to achieve. We have tasks we want to do. But there's limited time for us. And I discovered that procrastination is totally inevitable. So today, I'm not here to tell you not to procrastinate. No. I'm here to tell you how to be a better procrastinator. A few weeks ago, I had a project I had to do, and as my user self, I started postponing it until the very last second, the day before the project. I started rummaging my brain on how to go about it, started getting my superpowers, adrenaline flow and all. And somehow, I managed to complete the project. And even I got compliments on how I executed the project. And that made me realize that procrastination is actually an art. Maybe an art with consequences, because the day before the project, I had literally no food and I couldn't sleep. But at the same time, this is something that is inevitable. So instead of trying and failing not to do it, why not just get better at it? I'm so good at it. So yeah, I'm here today to give 3 tips on how you can be a very, very good procrastinator. The first tip is you need to adopt the 2-minute rule. Meaning that if something takes 2 minutes or less to complete, better to do it right now. Because that email you are postponing, at the end of the week, probably turn to hundreds of emails, and it's not actually any of them. So if something takes 2 minutes to complete, just do it right now. And the second tip is to learn to set fake deadlines. So this involves tricking your brain into believing that the deadline is later. So if you have a deadline of Wednesday, you can trick yourself, oh, the deadline is Monday. Of course, this doesn't always work because our brain sometimes find a way to actually find when the real deadline is, right? But sometimes desperate time calls for desperate mind game. And the third tip. The third tip. The third tip is to learn to reward yourself. Meaning, anytime you achieve a milestone or you find a way to get to the end of a project, even if you procrastinated or not, you should learn to reward yourself. Meaning that you might go to the restaurant, treat yourself to the resort, treat yourself to a nice meal, and do all sort of things. So, my fellow procrastinators, as I said earlier, I'm not here today to tell you not to procrastinate, but here to tell you how you can learn the art and be a master in the art. So from today, learn the 3 tips to be an efficient procrastinator. Adopt the 2-minute rule, set fixed deadlines, and reward yourself. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Jan Samuel, for that insightful perspective on procrastination. And I got something exciting, something I'm going to implement immediately. The adopting of the 2-minute rule. So from now onwards, if something will take me 2 minutes, I'll do it immediately. And I believe that that means I'll certainly get better with my procrastination. Thank you very much again. So Our next speaker will be, that's the evaluator for speaker 2. Sorry, evaluator for speaker 2. Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me? I'd like to know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming Tiem Farouk to talk about Tiem Lydia's objective. But before then, Tiem Farouk is an engineer by profession, and he'll be evaluating Tiem Lydia's speech. As a member of Kano Toastmasters Club, Tiem Farouk is currently progressing through the innovative planning path within the Toastmasters educational program. In his free time, he enjoys reading and exploring the world through food tourism. His favorite quote, "Travel far enough to meet yourself." Please join me in welcoming Tiem Farouk to the lectern. Tiem Farouk, could you give us the speech objectives for Tiem Lydia?
Sure, thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's lovely to be here in the Garden City, virtually at least. And it's lovely to see all these beautiful faces, smiling faces. Today, I have the privilege of evaluating Toastmaster Lydia, who is on the Presentation Mastery Pathway. Level 1, Project 3. The purpose of her speech is for the member to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance a speech. I'll be back during the evaluation segment to give my report. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Ihuoma, you're muted.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tiem Lydia. Let's keep the momentum going with our next speaker, who will share something fascinating about her through her speech titled Threads. Tiem Lydia is advancing through the presentation mastery path as part of the Toastmasters education program. She is a dedicated member of the Pecten Toastmasters Club, focused on refining her communication and leadership abilities. Let us welcome her with a round of applause as she approaches the lectern. Tiem Lydia, the spotlight is all yours.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to make a deep It's being nice to raise your hand if you have. Yeah. And also type in the chat box if you have virtually. So thank you. This means we all stood at crossroads at some point in our lives, where at least two paths diverge, each promising a different adventure. And you ask yourself, which way do I go? This, in essence, is a human condition, a constant stream of choices, each choice with the potential to alter our lives. Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. I am Ekwuchi Lydia, presenting threads that weave our destinies, our choices. This reminds me of Adi's story, the founder and CEO of one of the most renowned companies globally, Adidas, who started his career in his mother's laundry room, making shoes, determined to make the best athletic shoe ever made. Despite the competition at the time, Adi was relentless. His determination led him to constantly seek feedback from every athlete, with which he refined his craft to perfection. This determination finally paid off when the German football team in the year 1954 won the World Cup wearing Adidas' shoes for the first time in history. So you see, his success was hinged on his choice to be resilient in seeking and implementing feedback. So you see, we are the architects of our lives, and choices are the threads that weave our destinies. So Albert Camus, a French philosopher and author, once said that life is the sum of our choices, which holds true. A few years ago, I had to make a difficult choice myself to leave my comfort zone in search of growth, because a tiny voice in me kept saying, Lydia, there is more to life than this. And I listened. I chose to follow that tiny little voice. And today, I'm a Toastmaster, engaging with all of you fine people. And guess what? My life is positively transformed. Ultimately, the measure of life does not lie only in the quality, in the quantity of choices, but in the quality of these choices. As my father will always say, that a man's happiness lies on his choice of wife, which is true, which holds true for the most of us. So, hence, let's make it a part of us to make quality choices. It is the peril and privilege of choice that holds true for all of us. That a choice can both elevate you and also devalue you. So it is very critical that you make insightful, calculated choices. Dear Toastmasters and guests, this is a call. This call is a reminder for you to keep doing what you know how to do best, but you don't realize that you know how to do best sometimes, which is to make quality, insightful choices. Make choices that resonate with you. Make choices that keep you happy. Continue to make choices that attract your ultimate good. My people will say, remember that the difference between the poor and the rich is a choice. Your choice is your weapon. Wield it. Thank you, and it's back to you.
Our success lies not in the quantity, but the quality of the choices we make. Beautiful. Thank you, Tiam Lydia. And that left us with something to think about. Our last evaluator for the day is Tiem Nameti, and he will be serving as the evaluator for Tiem Ezekiel Hart's speech. An accountant by profession, he is dedicated or a dedicated member of both the Uyo Premier Speakers Club and the Kuwait Challengers Toastmasters Club. He is currently advancing through the engaging humor path within the Toastmasters educational program. In his leisure, he enjoys playing snooker, listening to classical music, and reading spiritual literature. His favorite quote is, "The bird does not sing because it needs an answer. It sings because it has a song." Let's all welcome warmly Tiem Nameti to the lectern. TM Nnamdi, kindly give us the speech objectives for TM Ezekiel Hart.
Master of the day, you're doing a great job. And good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests and great Pectenites. I'm excited to be the evaluator for Toastmaster Ezekiel Hart's speech. Toastmaster Ezekiel Hart will be speaking from Presentation Mastery Level 1, Project 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The purpose of the speech is for the speaker to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance a speech. Toastmaster Hart, I trust you. I know you will deliver excellently. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TM Nnamdi. Our last speaker for the day, our last prepared speech speaker for the day is TM Ezekiel Hart. And he has something equally engaging to share with us in his speech. He is a committed member of the Pecten Toastmasters Club. He's currently advancing through the presentation mastery path. Now let us give a round of applause to TM Ezekiel Hart as he proceeds to the lectern to share his own unique perspective on his message titled The Most Epic Icebreaker. TM Ezekiel Hart, we are eager to hear from you. Please begin.
Hello, and thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, for that introduction. Now, picture this. A man stands in front of a crowd. He doesn't just speak, he commands the room. Every word, every pause, every gesture. Perfect. In the most percipient way, I watch and think, no. I must be like this person. I had to walk up to him and ask, "Sir, what's your secret?" And you can guess what he says. Toastmasters. Good afternoon, wonderful Toastmasters. Good afternoon, wonderful guests. This is the story of how I became one of you and the journey to my first ever Toastmaster speech, a speech that almost didn't happen. So there I was speaking to this majestic Toastmaster, the swagger man himself, Dr. Intia. You need to join Toastmasters, he said. Before I could even process what he just said, here's my number, text me on WhatsApp. If you know Dr. Intia, you know how fast he talks. So I text him, "Hello, sir, how are you doing? I'm following up on the public speaking club you told me about." And immediately he replies, "Great, I'll forward you the VP membership number." I swear, he types just as fast as he talks. And this is where Toastmaster Olem enters the story. You remember that I must do my own. Well, Toastmaster Olem is literally the human version of yes, so you must do. But I won't lie, it was a struggle. I kept thinking, do I have the time? Am I taking on too much? Will I be able to commit? This mental back and forth lasted a whole year. I attended meetings as a guest, always watching, always thinking, maybe next time. But Toastmaster Olem, she's there every step to answer your questions, guiding you, making sure that you have everything you need. And when you have doubts, she helps you shove them up in that suitcase you keep in the top of your wardrobe, the one that you never open. And so finally, I bit the bullet. I joined. Oyana, in Nigerian parlance, now that I've joined, it's time to speak in this public. But I had no idea how challenging this was going to be. I joined with 2 members. Everything was set. The ingredients were ready for an icebreaker bash, a speakathon. Now, let's set the scene. I'm in Paris for just one day with my friends. We're supposed to go see the Eiffel Tower. And that sounds awesome, right? But there's just one thing. It's November. Winter is coming. And it's 3 degrees outside. But wait, it gets even worse. I have my Toastmaster speech in 2 hours. Before heading out to the tower, my friends suggest, let's go to the PSG stadium. How? When? Where am I supposed to give my Toastmaster speech? On a train? Finally, we reached the Eiffel Tower. It's every bit as epic and majestic as I imagined. We get closer, and guess what? It starts raining. If I thought it was cold before, right now, I could not feel my face. My hands were literally shaking. I couldn't tell if it was from the cold or the nerves. Probably both. But now it's 30 minutes to the speech. My friends want to leave to the stadium. No, please, wait for me. Don't abandon me in France. And because they are the best group of friends ever, they waited. But there's one more issue. I can't memorize my speech. So I scrambled to arrange my phone so that I can at least see my notes. The meeting starts, and I wait, and wait, and wait, until finally my name is called. And so with my frozen face, with my shaking hands, and the epic Eiffel Tower behind me, I take a deep breath and I say, "Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests." Or at least that's how I imagined I said it. But you know what? In that moment, all the nerves cleared. I felt comfortable. I remembered everything. And I delivered the speech. And just like that, everything was calm. I didn't even feel the cold anymore. The moment I finished, my friends and I were rushed off to the PSG stadium. It was already closed, so we only went to the gift store. And that wrapped up the most epic day in Paris, the most epic icebreaker. I want to say a big thank you to you all for accepting me to this amazing community. And I look forward to hearing your crazy Toastmaster speech stories. And I say thank you once again. And it's back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TM Ezekiel. Your speech was so relatable. It reminds me of my own icebreaker. I froze, and after that experience, I did not give a speech for another 18 months when I was waylaid by an experienced Toastmaster who insisted that I had to give another speech. So we have come, this brings us to the end of the prepared speeches segment. Can the timer inform us if any speaker exceeded their allotted time?
Sorry, I can hear you now. No,
I want it. I want to know if anybody exceeded.
Thank you. Okay. No, thank you, General Evaluator, for the prepared speeches. CM Samuel spoke within time. CM India spoke within time. CM Sona as well spoke within time. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
We have another segment for the guest welcome by the president. Is Madam President available to handle that?
Okay, Toastmaster Ihuoma, I think I will do this. If
Okay.
Toastmaster Ekwuchi is not here. Good evening, good evening, good evening once again. It's always a delight to be here. And I see how the meeting has been going, such scintillating speeches. But this segment is not for our Toastmasters, it's for our special invitees. I call them the real MVPs. Because how do you leave all that you have to do in a day and show up for a meeting that they promised you? You don't even know what's coming, but they promised you would have a good time. I hope that we're delivering on that. And with that said, I would like to say welcome. Welcome. We typically would have a long list of persons, and I'm just going to try to scroll through that list and say hello to everyone. So I see Aminat. I know she's a guest, but she's a Toastmaster from a different club, and this is her first time here. So welcome, Toastmaster Aminat. Welcome, Chris, Christy. Dr. Kaite, welcome. It's good to see you on our call. Welcome, Elijah. Welcome. Yeah, Toastmaster Farouk, this is your first time here too. So welcome. Toastmaster George, welcome to Pecten Toastmasters Club. I see, let me go. Olubumi Ajao, welcome. Oyin Leona, welcome. And Vianney. Vianney, thanks for joining us today. And Walu Nyebuchi, I would like to say a warm welcome to you as well. This is Pecten Toastmasters Club, and we're very delighted to always have others join us. I mean, what good would it do us if we cooked a very lovely dish and didn't have the opportunity to share it with others who could appreciate it and then give us feedback. So I hope you found value for the meeting so far. We would have a feedback session much later where we would give you the opportunity to tell us what you thought about today's meeting. But absolutely, we are delighted, elated, and exhilarated to have you with us today. Thank you, and it's back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
We'll now go into the table topic segment. Get ready, everyone, because our talented table topics master, Temporary, has crafted some of the most exciting questions that will have both guests and members scrambling for a chance to jump in. With these exciting prompts, we're all in for a lively session that will keep us on our toes. Temporary is a medical student and an active member of Tutors and Trainers Toastmasters Club, progressing through the presentation mastery class. In his free time, he enjoys playing the guitar and exploring culinary experiences. His favorite quote is, "Just do it," by Kelly Reeves. Let us give a warm welcome to Temporary as he leads us into this exciting segment. Temporary, the spotlight is on you.
Thank you very much, the most delectable Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's a very exciting day, and it's a very exciting opportunity to be here at Pecten Toastmasters Club. And, you know, we've come to the best part, the most exciting part of a Toastmasters meeting, which is the table topics segment. And this table topics segment is an opportunity for Toastmasters and guests to practice and improve on their impromptu speaking skills. Here, you speak off the cuff. So you get a question or a prompt, and you have to respond to it without prior preparation. So it's an opportunity, especially for our guests, to speak. You probably won't be able to give a prepared speech as a guest until you formally join Toastmasters, but you can always participate in the table topic segment and build your confidence. So we're going to be going right into the table topic segment right now. I've prepared 4 questions for us, and I invite as many people, 3 people. We only have time for 3 people today. So I invite 3 people to come volunteer, and you pick a question, you pick a number, I'll read out the question, and then you answer the question in 1 to 2 minutes. So you only have 2 minutes to answer these questions, as the timer has earlier explained. I'll encourage you to use the word as much as you can, if you can. And I must warn you, the questions that I've prepared are quite reflective. So I encourage you to get creative while answering these questions. So I would like to invite volunteers, guests, Toastmasters to participate in this table topic segment. So if you're willing, if you want to give it a shot, just raise your virtual hands if you're online or if you're in the room. Okay, I think I see a hand raised in the physical room. I don't know who that is because it's quite far here. Please, I mean, can I get an introduction of who that person is?
Oh, Toastmaster Oluwafemi.
Excellent, Toastmaster Oluwafemi. Thank you very much for opening the floor. So I have 4 questions prepared, numbered 1 to 4. So pick a number and I'm going to read the question out.
Number 2.
Number 2, excellent. Okay.
Yes.
So the question goes thus. Someone says to you, water pollution is not a big deal. How do you respond? I'll read it again. Someone says to you, water pollution is not a big deal. How would you respond to that?
Water pollution is not a big deal. Wow. Water pollution is a very big deal. Imagine in a world where we have people dying of cholera. It's not an imagination. It is the reality. People die of cholera. People die of malaria because of stagnant water that we have that breeds mosquito. My response will be, it is a big deal. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, water pollution is a great issue that we all need to find a solution to. Out of the SDG goals, I think clean water is one of them. Availability of clean water is underrated. If everyone have access to clean water, we will live an healthier life. We will be more healthier. Water pollution has caused a lot of damage to our society today. Number 1, sickness. I made mention of cholera, malaria, and other diseases that can be contacted through water. Climatic change. When our water has been polluted with plastics, in which some people take this water that affects their health due to the microplastic they consume. I would say water pollution is a great issue that we all need to deal with. And we can all do something to make this change in our society by preventing water pollution, by disposing our plastic waste appropriately, not by dumping it inside the gutter or inside the river. Back to you, the table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Femi. That was an amazing attempt. So just like you said, water pollution is in fact a big deal. And the SDG 6 is focused on clean water and sanitation. So it's something that we all need to pull our efforts together to overcome. Excellent. So let's go to our next question. Who would like to take the next question? Any volunteers from our online participants?
We have someone here.
Okay, someone in the room. Excellent.
Yes.
Can we have All right, excellent. Please, your name.
Chisom Alalefo. Yes.
Okay, Toastmaster Chisom. Could you kindly select a number? And I'll read out the question.
4.
Question 4. Okay, question 4 goes thus. If you were the governor of Rivers State for a day, what would be your first action to tackle water pollution? If you were the governor of Rivers State for a day, what would be your first action to tackle water pollution in Rivers State?
If I was to be the governor of Rivers State for a day, the very first thing I would do is to properly dispose waste. One of the issues in Rivers State and water isn't the fact that they have or lack water. It's the lack of proper waste disposing. So you go to the river, it's filled with oil, refuge, it's filled with dead fishes, filled with feces, as well as other debris. You walk around the market, the gutter that is supposed to be or lead as a way to prevent water and whatever it is isn't infected, especially since people who live around these areas would easily get mosquito bites, cholera, like Toastmaster Femi had earlier mentioned, as well as other sicknesses. But then when we are sure that wastes are properly disposed, this way we are sure that the drinking water is properly taken care of, because an area that is not contaminated with waste has the probability of having very well kept water. So if I am clean, my water is clean. If my environment is clean, my water is clean. So as the governor of Rivers State, I'll ensure that this is properly looked into. Thank you.
Wow, that was very succinct and very useful. Thank you very much, aspiring Toastmaster Chisom. I just realized TM Olem just pointed out in the group that you are a guest, and that was a very useful one from you. Thank you for coming up, summoning the courage to speak in the table topic session. We have one final question, and I will need one final volunteer. If we can have someone from the virtual participant, that would be excellent. Anyone? All right. Do we have any participants? Yes. Okay. Toastmaster Charles, I saw your hand raised for a second.
Okay, not it's okay.
Yeah.
Question 3. Don't know which one is available.
Question 3. Okay, let me check and see. We still have question 3. So question 3 says, if you could speak with an oil company executive about water pollution, what would you say? If you speak with an oil company executive about water pollution, what would you say?
If I could speak with them, I'll accompany the executive about water pollution. I think the first thing I would say is please, no matter what you do in your operations, try to prioritize water pollution, avoidance of water pollution, I should say, because in the course of their activities, because of you people's activities, you sometimes get to pollute the water, which especially with oil, which is going to affect the community, the ecosystem generally. Once water is polluted, the ecosystem is being affected. It affects humans, affects fishes. It also affects the habitats for but for the aquatic environment. So try not to spill, number one, and if there is an unavoidable spill, try to clean it up as soon as possible. Then also try to provide them potable water for the communities where you are operating, so that they won't completely depend on the river water. At least they will have boreholes where they are going to have clean water to consume from. I think that's what I would tell them. Back to you, the topics master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Charles. Excellent. Thank you very much for coming up and answering this question so beautifully. We have come to the end of the table segment. We're going to be having the evaluations in a bit. So I'd like to invite the Toastmaster of the day back to the virtual lectern, and that's thank you very much.
Our next segment has to do with an interactive session that will be handled by Dr. Nnamdi. The facilitator for this segment is Dr. Nnamdi, and he's an epidemiologist and an occupational health physician who is a distinguished multi-award recipient recognized by the World Health Organization African region for his instrumental role in eradicating polio in Africa. That was between 2017 and 2020. Building on his remarkable achievements, his collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Rivers State, was instrumental in effectively mitigating the spread of COVID-19. He has also worked with numerous rapid response teams responsible for mitigating the spread of Ebola, Lassa fever, monkeypox, and cholera outbreaks. And he loves biking in his free time. Let us welcome Dr. Nnamdi lectern with a round of applause.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. It's very evident going around the room that we are all percipient, especially when we look at the judge delivered speeches and how persons could actually talk about water and water inadequacies and the issues around sanitation on the spot. So it makes me feel that my work will be very easy. Very soon, we'll be seeing on the screen some numbers. Don't be shocked, because some of those numbers will be read. And it's very evident from these numbers we'll be seeing shortly that issues around water should be taken very seriously. So let's talk about water inequality, And we'll ask ourselves this question: do you feel there are issues around water? It's a thought-provoking question. Do you think there are issues around water? Every day we go to our homes and we turn on the tap, water flows. Even when the water runs dry, we pump the water again because in our environment, everyone has a borehole system. But the question I want to ask you is, in all of this, do you actually think there is a problem in all of this? So, when we look into some of the stats, we find that Sub-Saharan Africa has one of the worst indices when it comes to water. One of the worst indices when it comes to water. About 2 billion persons have zero access to water. Now, this may sound strange to a lot of persons because, I mean, you go to your homes and you turn on the tap and water flows. And even for those that have access, including you, you are in the 1 in 4 group. The privileged 25%. Privileged 25%. And issues around water impact 7 in 10 persons. These are WHO statistics. There are other researches that have been conducted around water. But just to stay in WHO realm, just to give it some weight. And now, think about us in this room. Just in this room alone, we're, I think, more than 10. Online, we're way more than 10. And ask yourself, at one time or the other, was there a time when you had issues around water or food? And I'm sure your answer will be yes. And this has led to about 74 million cases globally. Cases of diseases linked to water. And out of that, 1.4 million deaths. And this stats is still counting as of today. And even when we break down the deaths, you will find that Africa is leading in the mortality rates for deaths occurring due to water inequality and diseases that emanate from water. While working in the time frame I have, this is an open mic season. And I want us to really think on these stats. I remember a time when I went visiting and doing some epidemiological work in Port Harcourt. This is Port Harcourt. And I went to somewhere in the heart of Port Harcourt. And if you know the Agri Road area, it's a bustling part of town. Good street lights, good roads. That place has actually enjoyed the best roads in Rivers State to date. And the best roads started from there, because that's actually the main Port Harcourt township. However, I went and I veered off that road with some colleagues from the Rotary Club for us to see what really, how the road is inside. Toastmasters and guests. We got to this place that was, at that point in time, a dry riverbed. In evening time, the river actually ebbs up, and so you see water in that area. And in that place, an expanse of land, maybe about 2 plots, was the haven where toileting activities actually occur. Everybody stays in different corners at 5 a.m. doing their thing, not minding the next person. This is Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt. I'm not saying one shanty, I'm saying Port Harcourt. This happens till today, and it's going to happen by tomorrow morning. And when I look at the toilet facility that was there, it was actually not a water closet system. And everybody stays, for the few persons that have access to that place to do that thing, throwing it down into the riverbed. Why? Because of lack of access to water. Everybody in that place had to buy water from the local persons called the Meruas, who come in truckloads of water to sell. And when they look at the fact that why would I waste my money buying water that I would not use to wash my hands and clean myself, they end up doing that thing. I hear a whisper in me, a thought from someone here in this room and online saying, well, that's the start, but it doesn't concern me. By the way, when I got into this room, I love your t-shirt. Do you mind if I give you a handshake? Great. Think about the fact I came from that shanty right now and I give that handshake. And you took your bottle of water or your apple and then put it into your mouth. What that risk that is far off in that place in Port Harcourt has come to you. We are all at risk of this. Let's even go further into conservation of water. I remember this morning, I got into the bathroom and I put on the water and just rinsed off my brush. And the water was running while I slid up the toothpaste into the brush, and I took my time to make sure I had a very even paste of the toothpaste on the brush. And water was still running, and I was all doing my thing and all that. And afterwards, I used my water and I shut up the tap. And then it occurred to me that I just wasted water. So now, in other climes where we have, recycle and conservation of water, you know very well that if you waste water, some persons do not have that access to water. I'm going to round up this session by saying this, or my part of this session by saying this. And it's going to be another story, but said in 30 seconds. And I went to this riverine area somewhere off the shores of Akutoro. And I asked them, because we were going to respond to a case of cholera, and I asked them to give me the source of water they had. And they actually put on their gin and pump water and opened the tap and actually gave me a bucket full of water, and the water was cloudy. This is pipe-borne water, by the way. So, what are your thoughts about water inequality? What are your thoughts about our risk, even in Port Harcourt, in Nigeria as a whole, and in Africa? The floor is open for us. So, it's open mic. If anybody wants to make a speech or say something about this topic, please feel free in the few minutes we still have before we round up the session.
Just want to add that. Do I need to come up here? Yeah. To just put this into perspective, for every time NEPA goes bad in your area and you're unable to pump water, think of the level of discomfort that you feel. And then imagine this being somebody's everyday life and their reality.
Thank you so much. Would there be any other comments? Your thoughts?
Dr. Numberi, this is Olem speaking. So I hear you, and the story can be a bit discouraging as it can be encouraging. So are there tips you can share with us on how we can help have an equitable system, or how personally we can help conserve water? A few tips. Thank you.
Thank you. So first things when it comes to water conservation is you use what you need. And I think that's the central point of water conservation.
Can I say not in this heat?
Unfortunately, even in this heat. So you use what you need. And like in the story I mentioned, I allowed that water run while I was putting the paste on the brush. So please don't allow the water run when you're not using it next time. Next time, take as much water as you can drink. It's advisable sometimes to use a cup. So you have a bottle of water, 1.5 liters, you can finish it. Instead of just taking some few sips and throwing away the rest, you can use a cup and just turn it off. And then when you're done, you know that whatever is in there is something you can reuse another time and put into the fridge or any other place. And these are little things we can actually use. Outside this country, we actually have technologies that reduces the amount and the pressures of water that flows into the house, just to reduce the amount of water we consume. And these are little things we can do per time, for time check.
Thank you.
All right. Any other takers?
A comment.
Please, your comment.
So my comment is hinged on what in support with what Toastmaster Mimberi and Toastmaster Toby said. Remember that there are some people who don't have access to water. So when you come across some posts or some agencies who support countries in sub-Saharan Africa who don't have access to quality water, please don't look away. Remember what you heard today and sow a seed in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lydia. And I'll round up this session by saying this. In my time going around the suburbs, I see people that have acclimatized their life in places that actually have poor source of water. And top on that list is a community that just so close, about 30 minutes boat ride from Bonny. Bonny is a city that has water in every household, given by LNG. But take a 30 minutes ride out of Bonny to just a neighboring suburb, actually a waterside community. They didn't have water. They actually got water from a part that literally just brings from the sea, but because of how the sedimentation of the sand was, it gives somewhat clean water. And that's where they got their water from. Think about that next time when you turn on that tap and when you enjoy the soothing nature of the cold water running through your body. Remember, someone doesn't have that luxury. Thank you.
Is the TMOD still on the call?
Thank you. I don't think you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
I was knocked out for a few minutes, and I would like to know who started and the evaluation thing. The
Yes,
next
please.
segment is that where we are now?
Yes, that's where we are.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So our next segment is the evaluation section, which is dedicated to feedback and reflection. And it's a core part of our Toastmasters experience. And here to lead us on this section is the general evaluator, TM George. Please join me in welcoming TM George to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. And good evening once again, my fellow Toastmasters and our guests. We've listened to well-crafted speeches. There's been a lot of interesting things that have gone on in this meeting so far. And I'm delighted to be back with a number of Toastmasters, percipient Toastmasters, who I'm sure have noticed a lot of pleasant things that they will be sharing with us in the next few minutes. So I'll be calling them one after the other to tell us what they've noticed and what we've done well and what we can improve upon. So we'll start with the speech evaluators. And the first speaker was evaluated by, or will be evaluated by Toastmaster Oluwatosin Olorunleke. Toastmaster Tosin, if you're ready, we'll take your evaluation now.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Judge. I am ready. Toastmaster Samuel, that was a really beautiful speech. I enjoyed every bit of it. And I'm here to give my feedback. I loved a lot of things about your speech as regards your speech this evening. The title of your speech was Panic Mode Activated. And like we said, the objective of the speech was to write a speech with a purpose. Now, the first point is, I thought your speech was engaging. How did you manage to achieve this? One of the things you did was you started with a question. What that did was it actually got us thinking. There are many things you can do to capture the attention of your audience. And I think for a speech where you actually had to deliver an objective, where your speech had to have a purpose, of course, it would be pointless if there was a purpose and we did not pay attention to the speech. I thought it was important that you caught our attention, and your question was a very good way of getting that done. Your speech was also honest and relatable. That means we were able to actually connect with you and to connect with your speech. Because maybe you did not prepare too much for the speech, it did not come off as overly rehearsed. What happens a couple of times when people rehearse their speeches so much is it almost becomes a recitation. But this generally just felt like you were having a conversation with us, and I thought it made it come off rather interesting and relatable. I also thought your speech title and just the general nature of the speech, the content of the speech was actually very perfect because it did not make it difficult for the purpose of for your speech yesterday. I actually admired that honesty. I think it made procrastination really clear, and it made us all realize that, well, it's not something we ought to be ashamed of. The second point is your speech preparation. Listening to the content of your speech, it showed you definitely gave some thought to what you wanted to talk to us about. So definitely you did prepare. Could the preparation have been more? Aspects of preparation, I thought, were not adequate because you only started preparing for your speech or writing your speech yesterday, were practicing and getting your mentor to actually, go over your speech with you. I noticed during the delivery of your speech that you stumbled on some parts of the speech. You almost sold the entire idea of, procrastinating as much as you can until you stumbled. And I was like, I might want to take what you're telling us with a pinch of salt. So I would advise that you practice more in future. I also think if you had gone through the speech with a mentor, certain things such as the use of your body language could have been better. You're currently touching the table, and that was something you did even while you were speaking to us. You need to own your stage. You need to display some more energy. I also thought you could have had a better conclusion simply by recapping even the 3 points on how to be better procrastinators. And finally, the third point on your speech today was you delivered your objective unconventionally. I think most times if we are given a speech with a purpose, such as, oh, write a speech with a purpose, you're tempted to just come and tell us, oh, today I'm going to be talking about getting this done. The first thing I noticed was you did not outrightly spell out what you were actually going to try to achieve through your speech. You made your speech do the talking. And then even when you said what you were going to do, it was unconventional in the sense that you told us you were going to teach us to be better procrastinators. Who comes to somewhere where we are trying to be better communicators and better leaders and tells them, I want to teach you to be a better procrastinator? I thought what that did was it made your speech interesting, and it also added some subtle humor in the form of sarcasm to that speech. I loved that. Generally, I thought it was brilliant that your speech was engaging. I liked that you prepared, even though I thought you could prepare more. And I liked that you delivered your objective unconventionally. As long as the purpose of this project was concerned, I thought you did an absolutely brilliant job and you smashed it. Just keep speaking and the sky is the limit. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tosin, for that very constructive and useful feedback. The second speaker, Toastmaster Lydia, will be evaluated by Toastmaster Farouk Ibrahim. Toastmaster Farouk, the floor is yours. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster George. Toastmaster Lydia spoke on the project Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. But there was no way I could say that she was just being introduced to vocal variety and body language. She looked like she was well-versed in vocal variety and body language. especially her hand gestures. Hand gestures were engaging throughout. Which way do I go? She said and gestured. It was fantastic. And throughout the speech, she had her hands in what the speech experts call power position, between your navel and your eyes. It shows power. It shows you know what you're doing. You have confidence in what you're doing, and that radiates to your audience. That was fantastic. The second thing I loved so much was your voice play. The pitch, the speed, you were just playing with it. It was going together with what you were saying. It showed so much emotion. It showed that you cared about what you were saying, because you sped up sometimes and you slowed down when you were trying to make a point. It showed that you cared about what you are saying. And if you care about what you are saying, your audience automatically also care about what you are saying. That keeps them engaged. It was fantastic. Your eye contact was fairly balanced. You are looking left to right. And this is where I would also suggest some improvement, because there are a few times that you are talking and you looked at the sky, or the ceiling, should I say, because you are in a room. And that gives, it's like a break in transmission. It disconnects you from the audience a bit. It sometimes shows that, okay, maybe you're trying to think of what you're saying, you're not sure of what you're saying, so you're looking for help from above, and it disconnects, it reduces the value of your speech. So it's good you ensure that throughout your speech, you're looking at your audience, you're looking at people you're talking to. It keeps them connected. It gives you so much energy, that eye contact. That's something to watch out for. And the second thing I would recommend is something that it always works when it comes to body language. And that is, even before you start speaking, as you get to the stage, have the biggest smile in the world. That always works, because smile is contagious and it puts you at ease. It puts your audience at ease. And as humans, we are suckers for first impressions. And we like smiling. So if the first thing we see about you is that you're smiling, we immediately like you. And once our first impression is we like you, then you'll have our attention and we will like you for the rest of the speech. So that's something to keep in mind. Always get to the stage with the biggest smile. It makes a whole lot of difference. Generally, like I said, it was an engaging speech. I loved your comfort level. You were just, that was what made you even demonstrate all these gestures, because you are comfortable, you are well prepared. As far as the aims of this project, congratulations, you have achieved the aim of the project, and I hope to keep hearing you speak here and beyond other clubs worldwide. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farouk, for that very useful evaluation. Our third speaker will be evaluated by Toastmaster Nnamdi Apan. Toastmaster Nnamdi, the virtual lectern is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ezekiel. I hope you're on the call. Congratulations on your brilliant and relatable speech, titled The Most Epic Icebreaker Speech. A lot of things stood out, and allow me to just give us tips on where I took notes and where I was impressed with the speech. First, the pacing. I loved your pacing throughout your delivery. You were not too fast, not too slow. Your pacing was well adapted to ensure that the audience took details of your story from the beginning to the end. I loved when you said about Toastmaster Ntia. Great, I'll forward your number. I thought immediately you told us that he types as he talks, and then you quickened your pace on that line. That was a beautiful way of mimicking him. In fact, anyone who knows Toastmaster Ntia would imagine him at that moment communicating with you. That was brilliant. But I think that stood out for me was your hand gestures. I noticed that
Your hand gestures were spontaneous throughout your speech. And for me, I felt that that showed you were telling a heartfelt story. When speakers use their hands effortlessly and spontaneously, it is believed that they are speaking from your heart and they connect well with their audience. I loved when you also use your hand gestures at top of the word group when speaking about confidence and doubt. And then when you said, to my Toastmaster speech, I noticed that you did this, descriptive gestures, spot on there. Another thing that stood out for me was your facial gestures. Toastmasters and guests, do you remember when he said, when am I supposed to give my Toastmasters speech? On a train? Leaned in forward and there was a bit of surprise on his face. That was brilliant, Toastmaster Hart. Well done. I felt that you throughout your speech, you displayed a high level of self-awareness and depth. For such a brilliant speech, what would I recommend? I felt that there were missed opportunities to vary your voice. For example, when you're referring to Toastmaster Olem and Ntia, I think there were points where that dialogue could have helped you infuse your voice so that we could see the difference between you, the narrator, and those who were playing roles in the speech. I also felt that there was a point where you could have used your head when you said, I can't memorize my speech. You use your hand, but I thought that just doing this could have also, when you said can't, could have helped enhance our visual appeal at that point. Then apart from this, I thought that your speech was well paced. I would also challenge you to try giving that speech without your video. Just use a Bluetooth speaker and then give the speech and listen to yourself. And once you can do that over and over again, you'll be able to know how vocal variety would work. Toastmaster Hart, for such a brilliant speech, I thought there was something else that you did well when you said, I waited, and finally my name was called. You used pauses brilliantly because you waited actually. And then when you said that you were looking at the Eiffel Tower, you slanted your body. That was powerful with movement. Toastmaster Hart, you are such a great speaker. And just like Ntia stood in front of the crowd and left a mark on you, today you stood in front of this audience and left a mark with a powerful story. If you can infuse those recommendations and then build and enhance your superpower, which is pacing, hand gestures, and audience connection, then I see you on the world stage. Congratulations, you've achieved your objective. I'm back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nnamdi, and thanks to all our evaluators for delivering their evaluations with percipience. Now we'll move to the table topics evaluation, and the table topics speakers will be evaluated by the table topics master himself, Toastmaster Korede. Toastmaster Korede, are you ready?
Sorry, GE, that would be Toastmaster Toby Lover.
Apologies. Toastmaster, yes, please.
Gender.
Okay, Toastmaster Toby, over to you, please.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. It's been indeed a perceptive, a percipient. I don't know, I feel very full. Thank you to everyone. Before I dive in to the evaluation, I just want to quickly remind us what the purpose of table topics are. So this segment is designed to help us think quickly on our feet and speak spontaneously without preparation. Now, this is a valuable skill that we need both in our personal and in our professional lives. So whether you're answering an unexpected question in a meeting, handling important conversations, or you're networking, this is a skill. The ability to organize your thoughts rapidly and speak coherently is very essential. If you agree, please, a round of applause. Right, that said, I'll dive right into it. So first of all, we had Toastmaster Oluwafemi who spoke about water pollution is not a big deal. If someone has said to you water pollution is not a big deal, how would you respond? I love the fact that you repeated the topic and immediately asserted that water pollution is in fact a big deal. You definitely got our attention there. You demonstrated your keen interest and attention to global conversations by referring to the SDG goals. I thought that stood out. And you indeed brought in perceptivity. You paced right, and it was an absolute astute response. My feedback to you will be to try and be more audible, so you can carry everybody along. Thank you. Yes, Chisholm, I can sense the nervousness from you. Don't worry, just take a deep breath. It's nothing serious. So your question was, if you were the governor of Rivers State for a day, what would be your first action to tackle water pollution in Rivers State? So you did something very exceptional, very impressive, that seasoned speakers, it's a tactic that seasoned speakers use. You applied the grand pause, and that made a lot of sense because I could see the result or the impact of it in your collected thoughts, carefully collected thoughts, and in your delivery. So you started out with a grand pause, and that was at that moment you raised all of our anticipation because we're expecting to talk now. So now all eyes was on you, and that's a very, very beautiful one. You went straight to the what's it called now? To exposing the root cause. And I thought that was also brilliant. So he said, well, the root cause is to first of all tackle waste. So when we are able to put together an effective waste management system, you would then be able to tackle water pollution. Your speech was crisp, it was rich, and it was succinct. I personally loved it. I love how your thoughts were coherent and carefully put together, and the delivery was just. It was exceptional. So I say we'll make you a DTM right away. If anybody in the house agrees with me, you did impressively well. I mean, beyond what many other guests or first timers would have done. So very well done there. Lastly, to Toastmaster Charles Ebeh, you spoke about if you could speak to an oil company executive about water pollution, what would you say? So you know how we always joke about this 5-minute speech or 1-minute pitch with when you elevator pitch rather with Tony Elumelu. So this question and your response to it did take me back to that common conversation. So I love how you, as a seasoned Toastmaster, first of all, you repeated the question and answered the question right away. So already you made us understand what your stance is. You said, please, you said you would say, please, no matter what you do, try to prioritize the avoidance of water pollution. I think anybody that hears that, unprovoked out of nowhere, it would stick with them because it feels very, very reverberating. Because even I, as a participant in this meeting, it kept ringing in my head. Please, no matter what you do, try to prioritize the avoidance of water pollution. It's really thought-provoking and it's guilt-stripping. So anybody that hears that will definitely want to listen to more. So you immediately and clearly got us to see your stats. You went further to tell us the other negative outcome of oil spill into water bodies, further educating us on the sensitive and the sad realities hundreds of thousands of Nigerians, especially in this region, are experiencing. My only recommendation would be to be more audible next time. Beyond that, it was a very, 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 very beautiful response. As I conclude my evaluations, I would like to commend all our participants, for their percipient responses. Just as water finds its way around obstacles, each of you demonstrated remarkable ability to flow with the impromptu topics. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much for that very wonderful evaluation of the table topic speakers. And we move swiftly to the report from the role players that we've had today. The first role player that I'll be calling up is the grammarian, and our grammarian is Toastmaster Mina. Toastmaster Mina, how well did we do with our grammar today? Over to you.
All right. Thank you very kindly, General Evaluator. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
All right, for today's meeting, I pretty much paid close attention to our use of language, noting both exceptional expressions and then areas for improvement. Firstly, I'd like to commend all our speakers who demonstrated eloquence and clarity in their delivery. So several speakers used vivid, persuasive phrasing and then very strong transitions that sort of enhanced in their messages. So I also noticed some exceptional use of language. So I particularly liked how Tim Lydia said, our choices can elevate you or devalue you. So she also said, she didn't use the word of the day. And then she said, your choice is your weapon, wield it. Thank you, that was awesome, Tim Lydia. I really wish you had used the word of the day, percipient. I also liked how Tim Suna said he's swagger man himself. And thankfully he used the word of the day. It was great to hear it moving into some of our speeches and evaluations. Well done to those who have made effort to use it. So if you hadn't had a chance to use the word of the day today, I encourage you to incorporate it into your vocabulary moving forward. So as for areas of improvement, I observed a few instances of wrong pronunciations, like someone pronounced threats as threats. So it's important to make conscious effort to pronounce words clearly and correctly. Someone also said lack of proper waste disposal. I think the correct thing to say is lack of proper waste disposal. However, these did not take away from the overall quality of delivery. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that this session was a wonderful display of articulate and thoughtful communications. So let's continue to refine our language, embrace new words, and then strive for excellence in our speeches. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mina, our grammarian for today. Next on the list of role players is the R counter, who also doubled as our listening evaluator. Please welcome Toastmaster Shakira to the lectern for her report.
Please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. I would say it has been an amazing meeting and every delivery from every speaker was fun. Today, serving as the hand counter, police, the crutch word, the gap filler police. Well, a lot of us used the crutch words and sounds, and the filler sounds are there. Starting with the man that is teaching us to be a better procrastinator. He used the word so 2 times, and he repeated the third tip while he was speaking. The next one is by CM Suna. He used the word so 5 times. CM Korede used the word so 3 times and 2 times. CM Femi used the sound 2 times. Guest Chiso used the filler sound once. And the last speaker used the sound 8 times. TM Lydia used the sound 3 times. TM Mina, while in a delivery, used the sound in a grammarious report. I meant to say once. TM Toby also used I mean and you know while she was giving a TikTok evaluation. Now to the part where I asked the question. It says what? Now, the difference between the rich and the poor is a choice. Please, who said that?
Toastmaster Lydia.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Today, I am not here to teach you how to procrastinate, but to be a better procrastinator.
Toastmaster Samuel. How are you looking at him?
Thank you very much. That'll be all from me. It's back to you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shakira, for that very humorous but well explained report. Last but definitely not the least on the role players is the timer, a very important role. And I'm excited to invite back to the lectern Toastmaster Chigozie for his timer's report. Toastmaster Chigozie, over to you. Toastmaster Chigozie, okay, there you are. Please go ahead.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Apologies for the instability. Nigerian network can embarrass you anytime, any day. Well, I was able to, of course, do my job. Toastmaster Femi spoke for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That's for the table topic speeches. She spoke for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Toastmaster guest Shusum spoke for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Guest Charles spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. They all spoke within time. For the evaluation of the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Tosin spoke for 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Toastmaster Farouk spoke for 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Toastmaster Nnamdi spoke for 3 minutes. Toastmaster Tobilolba
Toastmaster Chigozie, you are muted. Please, could you unmute yourself? Yes,
Hello,
go ahead.
can you hear me now?
Yes, we didn't get the last part of your report. So the evaluators, or the few evaluators and role players, if you could just.
Okay. Sorry. For the evaluation of the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Tosin spoke for 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Toastmaster Farouk spoke for 3 minutes. Toastmaster Tobiloba spoke for 5 minutes, 29 seconds. Toastmaster Mina, the grammarian, spoke for 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Toastmaster Shakira, the hour counter, she spoke for 1 minute, 54 seconds. They all spoke within time except Toastmaster Tosin, who spoke for 3 minutes, 45 seconds, and Toastmaster Farouk, who spoke for 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you, and back to you, CM George, Toastmaster George.
Thank you very much, timer Toastmaster Chigozie, for that report. And now to my report as general evaluator for this very interesting and engaging meeting. First of all, in Toastmasters, a moment of truth is an episode where any person comes in contact with an aspect of the Toastmasters experience. And personally, I've had a few moments of truth engaging with my short engagement with Pecten Toastmasters Club. And if I were to sum it up in one word, the word I'll choose is excellence. from the first moment Toastmaster Olem contacted me to this very moment, there has been that exhibition of excellence in everything that I've seen. So I'll just give some of the things that I think you're doing very well, because there are a lot of them. The first one is the obvious attention to detail that has been put into planning and executing this meeting. I think it is worthy of commendation, and it's evident in everything that you've seen so far, from the fact that the meeting started at exactly 4:15 p.m. The fact that there is a slide that carries very important information that helps convey information that is needed both for the role players and the general audience. I think this is highly commendable. Also, this is the first club that I'm visiting that has a theme of the month that conveys or kind of directs every other thing that is done, even during the meeting. That is something that was very commendable as well. Now, I also noticed the seamless transition. So from the Sergeant at Arms, which was played by the VPE, introducing the president and to the Toastmaster of the day, and all through the meeting, it was evident that the meeting flowed smoothly, and I think it is highly commendable. One very innovative thing that I also noticed that I'm seeing for the first time is the section of the meeting where guests are acknowledged midway through the meeting, helping them to feel seen and giving them that sense of belonging. I think most Toastmasters clubs do it at the end of the meeting, the beginning and the end, but I thought it was very innovative and useful to pause the meeting to acknowledge our guests. That, again, is a moment of truth that I think does wonders to the image of Pecten Toastmasters Club. So well done, and kudos on that. One thing that I heard a few Toastmasters mention during the meeting, which is not a big deal, but I think it also helps to take note of, is the use of TM when referring to a Toastmaster. Usually when we write, it's okay to abbreviate the word to TM, but I think it's better to say Toastmaster when we are speaking. It not only removes ambiguity for our guests, but it also seems or sounds a lot better to say Toastmaster so-and-so than to say TM so-and-so. And what I loved so much about this meeting is what I will call audio-visual excellence. Now, the major challenge of holding a hybrid meeting is the risk of alienating the online audience. I have attended several online meetings that, although were interesting, but you find yourself as an online audience either feeling left out or struggling to follow along just because either the audio or the video quality is not up to scratch. But I think this one area is something that, another area where Pecten Toastmasters has excelled. And I would say, keep doing what you're doing. There is a lot to learn from Pecten Toastmasters Club. I'm delighted that I spent this time in this meeting, and I look forward to sharing such experiences with Pecten Toastmasters Club whenever the opportunity arises. So congratulations, keep doing what you're doing, and the sky is truly the launchpad for Pecten Toastmasters Club. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much, GE. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as we draw this meeting to a close, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for each of us for making this gathering a success. Sorry, I was muted. From the inspiring speeches to the insightful evaluations, and the seamless execution. Today's session has truly exemplified the power.
I can talk,
So
can
you
hear
can hear
you.
me?
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yeah.
Thank you. From the inspiring speeches to the insightful evaluations and the seamless execution, today's session has been truly exemplified, or has truly exemplified the power of preparation and teamwork. Your energy and commitment set the standard for excellence, and I'm confident we'll carry this momentum going forward. Let's continue to inspire and uplift each other. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. And it's back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so very kindly. Please put a warm round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator. You see, you won't understand what it feels like to be on a rocky boat until you have sailors or the captains who don't know what they're about. But you see how you enjoyed the sailing. It was seamless, it was without hitches, and they did everything the way seasoned Toastmasters do stuff. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's been a delight hosting you today at Pecten Toastmasters Club. I'm standing in for the president. She is unavoidably absent to give her closing remark and just some announcements before we head out. I know we're about 2 minutes late, but I'm going to keep this really short and sharp. To all our speakers today, I say well done. It's such a delight watching this group of people present because I know where we're all coming from. I love the commitment that you put into your personal development, and I can just tell you how delighted I am to see you go this far. Well done to Toastmasters Samuel, Lydia, and Suna for wrapping this up quite nicely. To our role players, the grammarian, our counter, the timer, table topics evaluator, and our G and TMOD included. Every single person has made this such a smooth, excellent ride, and I'll just say, well done. Now to our guests, our real MVPs. Thank you so very kindly for joining us today and staying with us till this time of the day. It's not easy for you to take 2 hours in a day that has absolutely nothing to do with the very present things of your life and just sit down and listen to people talk and also engage. We're delighted to have you. Whether you're in the physical audience or in the virtual audience, thank you so very kindly for staying till now and making this meeting a success. And now to our announcement. Next club meeting is on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Did I hear someone say yay? It's a virtual meeting. Yes, it's a virtual meeting. And please, I'm not sure we're going to have any April Fools, but if I tell you there's a meeting on the 1st, it's not April Fool. Please show up for the meeting. Okay. Thank you. We also have an icebreaker speakathon planned for our new batch of toasties who just joined us. There are about 5 of them, and it's going to be served hot, so you don't want to miss that. And that's coming towards on Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Finally, for club members, please remember to pay your dues. We are at the edge of due season, at least for the second semester. So either you contact the treasurer of the club or myself to just get that bit sorted out. We know things are not exactly as smooth, but we know we would all cross there. So thank you so much. And to wrap this up, Zoom Master, please, can we see our tongue twister? So we've got one around cans, and I'm going to leave the election to whoever is going to do this to take a shot at it. But our tongue twister for today is, can you can a can as a canner can a can? And I expect you to do this really quick for 3 consecutive times. The whole idea for tongue twisters is to help you with your pronunciations and your enunciations. So how clearly we can hear you when you speak and how well you pronounce the words. So who's going first? Is anyone in the room? The election is yours.
All right, let me just try, please. This is impressive, actually.
Can you can a can?
Can you can a can as a can can a can? Can you can a can as a can can a can? Can you can a can as a can can a can?
That was nicely done. Is there anyone who wants to go again? Anyone in the audience, virtual audience?
Someone in the physical room.
Let the person take the stage.
Cannot I cannot count. I just cannot. Just count it.
Who is speaking?
All right.
All right, just go ahead.
Can you can you can 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 you can
Woo!
Wow! That was smooth. That was so smooth. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. And we'll call the meeting a wrap right about here. Thank you. You can stay back and network. For those who want to chat to a side virtually, you could do that. And for those of us in the room, you know how we roll. So just have fun and well done. And thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks' time. And it's bye for now.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. You're sharing your screen. I'll go to YouTube. Oh my God. That was cool.
Well done, everyone. It's been great being with you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jared.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, bye.
Very